Okay, welcome to our Botany360 event that's being sponsored by the teaching section. I'm Kyra Krakos. I'm the chair of the teaching and outreach section. And we're gonna be talking tonight, kind of an overview and answer some questions about how you get involved in leadership. And one of the big goals of Botany is that we wanted to really create both transparency and understanding of what it means to be in leadership. And then also just better communication for continuity and to really sort of build our community. And one of the things that sort of came out of pandemic years was we can do this so much better with year-round events and better digital communication, and that provides for more than just the annual meeting. And so this is part of that 360 initiative, and also to help build our own section. And I apologize, as always, for being so hoarse, etc. So, all right, I'm going to share my screen. Robert, can you, or Bob, can you see that as I?
Yes.
Does that look correct? Yay! Thank you so much.
Running.
All right, and our hope is that this gives folks some, gets you excited for Alaska also, right? Because that's where we're headed to. But also, since it is a hybrid conference, one of the things I'll be emphasizing is that being involved and being part of our section is very much, we understand that particularly if you're at a teaching college or not an R1, there might not be funds to get to some of the bigger meetings. And so our section leadership will be also hybrid this year as we hold elections and as we make plans for the future. So even if you're not going to Alaska, and whenever you're viewing this, know that we want you involved, we want you part of it. We want to continue to build our section, both virtually and in person. All right, so like I said, I am the section chair. I have served my 3-year term plus an additional year that was a special election at Botany last year that I was asked to stay on as chair for a year, sort of to nanny through our last our transition in the bylaws. And I think to not shake up leadership while still fully virtual. And I was honored to do that. My vice chair and program director is Dr. Benjamin Montgomery. And our section secretary and treasurer is David Kresge. Both of them are not here, but I believe Ben will be joining us. So really quick overview. I'm going to go through sort of what we call the election schedule, which is pointing out what those bylaw changes are and why we think it will strengthen continuity and communication for our section. Then the officers, what the offices are, the responsibilities, and then I do like a nuts and bolts, like here's what the real time commitment is throughout the year, and then the benefits to us, the officers and folks looking to get involved, and then Q&A. So we'll do that. Okay, this is kind of a wordy slide, but bear with me. This is pulled from the bylaws, so the language is a little formal, if you will. Now, please don't be scared by the term a 6-year term of service. That's actually what it is right now. It's just broken up a little differently. Not now, but the prior format was the chair was elected for 3 years and then served as a post-chair position for 3 years. Well, so we broke that up into 2 + 2 + 2 so that there was continuity and a chance for training. Because prior it was that someone could be elected for chair who never served in leadership before. And they're like, ooh, what am I supposed to do? The vice chair might know more than they do. So it really is not changing the commitment. It's actually just tiering and structuring it so that there's a mentoring and training. And I think that, we think that it really actually builds a stronger program. So what that looks like now, we elect vice chairs, and the vice chair is sort of, or chair-elect, has sort of 2 roles. They're the vice chair and then the program coordinator for the botany sessions, for the teaching sessions. But those are both the same job. So vice chair, first 2 years, the vice chair is responsible for helping organize the program, the annual meeting. If the chair can't be there, like at the meetings the chair has to be at the botany meetings, which is the education committee, they will be there. And then really they just assist the chair. So together they talk about how they want the sessions to be grouped. They look at the talks and the abstracts submitted and sort of build out that program together, talk about what initiatives might be important, et cetera. So there's a 2 years there, and that's the vice chair. And now, and this is the change, then the vice chair becomes the chair, and the new vice chair is elected. And then, of course, as is already in place, then after the chair serves for 2 years, they say 2 years as the post chair. So that's kind of how it goes. So we're always electing now just into vice chair position, and then they move through being vice chair for 2 years, chair for 2 years, alumnus or past chair for 2 years, if that makes sense. Okay, so as chair for those 2 years, they preside over meetings of the section, appoint committees as needed. We usually have a committee for the Postlethwaite Award or anything else that we think that might come up. The chair is the representative to the Education Council, and they attend that meeting, and they also attend the BSA Council meeting, and then bring that report back to the business meeting for our section. And then as past chair, they fill in on those things. They also attend those council meetings and serve as second voices, ad hoc meetings. The other person in our leadership is outside of this sort of rolling leadership role, and that is our secretary treasurer. This doesn't have a change. They are elected, they serve for 3 years. They keep the minutes of the meetings and the records. They carry on correspondence. And I don't know why there's like 8 size fonts on this slide, I apologize. When we say responsible for the collection of the section dues, handling of the funds, they get the report on that. But of course, those are also done automatically through registration in BSA, but this person does serve for 3 years. Okay, so any questions on what those 3 sections, 3 titles are? You like that? Okay. I do think that the 2 + 2 + 2 does lead to continuity, and we're pretty excited about that. All right, so let me give you the nuts and bolts, because this is what, as I said, when I joined leadership, I sort of thrown in, we hadn't had virtual world yet. And so we tried to sort of build our what the history of our section is. Our records are now all digitized. And also just to tell you, like, well, what would that actually mean in terms of being involved in leadership? Because I know when I got elected, I was very excited. I was new faculty, and this would be great for my resume. I was excited to serve, but I also like, oh my goodness, what am I getting into? Nuts and bolts. There are about 3 meetings a year that are virtual. Now, before that wasn't true. Actually, I think these are really, really great. It's somewhere between 1 and 3. I know that like the Education Council called a meeting this year to say, hey, let's talk about maybe what we want to do about virtual versus hybrid versus in person. It was a good chance to talk about it. We had another meeting about the Bessie Award, which you're on the committee for, and then a 360 botany meeting saying what kind of events do we think would benefit our members throughout the year. They were about an hour, and really helped sort of answer questions and get a clear vision. During botany, there is the BSA Education Committee meeting and the BSA Council meeting, and chair and post chair attend both of those. You take the notes from those, and if there's anything that's pertinent to our section, you bring them back, and in our section meeting, you share those. During botany, preside over the section sessions, and help with that, right? There are, of course, folks who are running the sessions, but obviously you attend all 2 to 3 sections of the teaching sections. And this was something that I really find fun. We help plan botany. So you'll vote on the symposium colloquia. All the section chairs do, which ones are appropriate, which ones maybe we would like to put a little funding support to, same with workshops. And then we get to set the schedule. And Ben has done a really elegant job with this, my vice chair, that I really appreciate, where he groups them by themes, each of the sections. And then we've also worked in the last couple of years with initiative with the Diversity and Inclusion Initiative, and with a grant that we had to create special sessions that were geared towards particular goals that we had, like having more inclusion of community college folks, teaching colleges, tribal colleges, really bringing in that expertise. So we have devoted sections to that. And those are things that can continue or not as the leadership decides. I mean, that's one of the things like that we did. And so when you're like, you get in all the abstracts and you go, okay, let's group these, into each section. It also gives you a chance to say, well, what kind of narrative do we want to craft for our teaching sections? And you set that schedule. And you say, yep, we want lunch, or nope, it's virtual, we're not having lunch. So you tell Botany, yep, we want lunch, and you put that in. I'm a big fan of having the business meeting and lunch at the same time. I think if you're gonna have a meeting, it's nice to feed people. The other thing is you manage and give out our section award, which is the Postlethwaite Award. That I have made completely automated with forms and nomination protocols. So, and it has a history and so forth. So whoever is moving into leadership after me, tried really hard to make everything clean, digitized, and just a set of emails and management that you execute. It doesn't take that much time. You get in the nominations, the committee reads through them, they decide who gets it, and you award that at Botany. The paperwork involved, to be absolutely transparent, because no one likes paperwork, there is a section report that all sections have to do. It's about 1 to 2 pages. It's an annual event. I have 10 years going back of what they look like. You can also look at them online. They're all published. And so you can do what I did if you get involved in leadership, which is go have a look at what the previous ones look like, update, add in things that we did. Was it workshops? Was it symposia? What initiatives we executed? How many talks? How many posters? And sort of, and I know that I really leaned heavily on the secretary's minute notes to put that report together. It probably took about an hour of my time, and I submitted. So overall, it was not a very heavy, onerous administrative role to play, but very rewarding and I think exciting. Okay, which is benefits. I mean, obviously, first and foremost, professional development, particularly for those of you who are listening to this that are early career educators and scientists. This is low-hanging fruit to get. I mean, this is leadership in your field, but also shows national level leadership. Really excellent to have on your resume when you're putting together those tenure portfolios, et cetera, in that respect. It also, though, is a chance to help shape the direction of the section. I know something that I was really passionate about was expanding our reach to educators that don't have R1 funding to get to the meetings. And that's where the Diversity and Inclusion Grant came from. We brought in many more educators and that usually couldn't come, became a really great contributing members of our section. I hope that continues. But the direction of the section, this is a chance for you to say, here's something I really would like to see in botany education. I know we're sponsoring a climate change education workshop. We sponsored and developed one on online botany education. Both of those were things that Ben and I felt were really important for educators to have, particularly during COVID, and then moving into the 21st century. And then also with expanding the diversity of our section. And so we've really supported those initiatives. And we're actually now work with the diversity committee to continue to shape out what our special sessions look like and provide roundtables and things like that. So this is a chance for anyone who wants to build their own professional profile, but also help shape botanical education and leadership in the section in the way that they think that it should go. So I hope that it's something that folks are excited to get involved in, etc. This year, we're doing special election because, as I said, I stepped out of the role, and we will be electing a new vice chair. Now, this year, okay, so officers are elected at the business meeting. Again, here's the formal language. Officers are elected at the business meeting of the section. They assume the office at the close of the meeting. We will have a hybrid section meeting. So it will be where we have, our meeting is going to be like this, like, you know, when we all teach, where we're teaching on ground, but also online. And so I'll be running that much in that same fashion. And so our elections will be held in the same way. And we'll be electing a new vice chair in that new 2-year cycle plan. And so we'll be moving forward with that new format. So with that, I'm going to put up there what the leadership timeline is. This is where both there's the responsibilities, but also the what that 2 + 2 + 2 looks like. Any questions, etc. And that's kind of like the recorded portion that we want folks to see. And then please reach out to me with questions. My contact information I can put in the chat, but is also, I think, is in all the emails that are sent, and it is up on the Botany website. So any questions or clarifications?
Kyra, you said it was a hybrid section. Who are we hybridizing with?
So it's going to be both virtual and on ground.
Oh, I see. It's not.
Sorry, I should have clarified that. In our university, we call them hybrid classes.
Okay.
So,
right.
but I realize everybody calls them something different. Thank you. Let me clarify that. We're going to hold our business meeting both virtual and on ground.
Okay.
And so it'll be, you know, are you like the students, some Zoom in, some are on ground. We can do that, right? After the last 2 years, we're very good at doing that because we very much wanted to hold an in-person meeting, and it will be at the end of, Ben, I believe the schedule is at the end of the first day, or the end of the section right before lunch.
I think that's right. Last I saw.
In other words, in its traditional spot. If you are at Alaska, you will be getting lunch. Yay. So come and eat and join us for our business meeting. If you are online virtually, I don't know, pour a strong beverage and join us for the meeting. You get to do that when you're virtual. But we will be doing all of our business in that fashion. Also, as an effort to make sure that we have as many people participating as possible. Alaska is an expensive meeting to get to. We want to be mindful of that. We want to make sure that we're able to have as many participants in our section as possible, even if they're not able to attend in person. So, but yeah, does that clarify that? Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, other questions? Okay, if not, then I'm going to hit stop on both the share and the record since it's the information. Goodbye, everybody.